Thanks for tuning into another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs, aka Roman Von Doman. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan. Davey, how are you?
Boys are buzzing today, Richard.
Woo, boy,
Boys are buzzing.
I like to hear that.
Yep.
That's exciting. Hey, did you see I
That's
put up
hockey
another
lingo,
Huh?
by the way. That's hockey lingo.
Yeah, I never played.
Yeah, I never played.
Couldn't skate.
Seen enough of it though. Weak ankles.
Seen a lot of it. Yeah, it's not for me, you know?
Yeah, I got it.
It was one of those things where this should be a lesson to a lot of kids out there. If you're not good at something right away, quit. Because I think God was telling me, like, hey, dude, you can't skate. Don't waste your time. And so I didn't.
Me, on the other hand, I'm into violence, breakneck speed, and clap bombs. That's what I do.
And you love taping your stick up.
Everyone does it differently, Richard.
Yeah.
Everyone does it differently.
You know what my passion is now, though, Ryan?
What's that?
Sword play.
So, is it ever?
I got a new video up at Dork Podcast on the Twitter. New piece of fruit, and to appease a lot of the audience out there that thought it was amateur hour for me to hit a cantaloupe off of a sawhorse.
We're back to throwing it at you.
We're back to a moving target. And
I say, you are taking Doug Mirabelli dad hacks at that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like out of your shoes.
I'm going up there. I'm eating meatball subs, and I'm hitting doubles.
I have to tell you, Richard, as a former hitting instructor and someone who is, king of the piss missile himself.
Sure he is.
You're a little you're a little rotational. We need you a little bit more linear next time.
Yeah. I know.
You know what I mean?
Well,
a little more back to front distribution, less rotation.
Understand. I think part of me is saying, don't go full baseball swing. Then the other part of me is like, how else am I going to get through this thing?
Yeah. I'm telling you, you got to work on the quick, the out of the scabbard and the, what I mean?
The one thing I'm afraid of is if I start attacking these pieces of fruit, vegetables, what have you, one-handed, I'm likely to throw the sword into my house.
I had a terrible thought the other day that thing could go rogue, and it could just slip out of your hand, and not only through your house, through your wife,
specifically my wife.
Yeah,
it could impale her into the house.
Like, do you want to be telling that story to the cops?
No, I don't.
No.
I'd be like, listen, it was 1,000,000 to 1. I've been doing these hilarious videos all over the internet.
Yeah.
They're like, and she was just tossing you these fruit?
Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
Think of it as a trust fall, officer. He's like, I'm not going to think of it that way. And
yeah,
you're
I'm not
under arrest.
And you are manslaughter. You are under arrest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I get it. But what's the safe way to do it? There really isn't one.
She's got to be behind some sort of screen. Like, get her an L screen.
I should get her an L screen. That'd be hilarious. Oh, you going back to baseball? No.
Yeah, a little soft. We're gonna do a little front toss.
No, my wife actually throws pieces of fruit at me, and I cut it with a sword.
Speaking of L screens, what if you got a T?
No, but people don't think that's interesting.
That's true. It's got to be moving, right?
I guess. I think just slicing through something is still pretty cool.
Yeah, look at that large young man who did it through water bottles.
Yeah, I could do that.
1 million hits on YouTube.
I could do that. No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
You want me to do that? Give me something. I'll cut through it.
Right now, we're getting to the hardest fruits we can find.
Yeah.
Pineapple. You know what you're going to have to go to after fruit? You're going to have to go to meat.
Yeah, I've been getting a little bit of the groundswell for me to cut through some meat.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Let me just
And then you got to do like the Salt Bay thing. You got to like do the salt.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Just
after
a little.
You do it. Just a little bit.
And then
how he does it off the elbow like
tender
that?
It.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I didn't even feel it go through the pineapple.
Did you know?
No. You
like a home run.
Just right through. Like a dinger. Like I socked a dinger.
What if you, and this is a bit John Belushi SNL, what if you prepared a meal with the sword?
Probably
that's good. That's good content.
Probably better than my regular cooking. Am I right?
Like buttering the bread, like with the sword.
That's not bad. Yeah, I don't think my wife would want it in the house like that.
She's a culinary person, right?
She is. She's a chef. Yeah. Yeah. So probably not the best.
She could probably teach you some technique.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a nice way to pitch in.
Yeah.
We all find our lane.
Do you think if I got like a goose,
a Christmas goose,
would like PETA be on my case?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
If you just
take that back.
If you executed a goose on YouTube,
they're overpopulated, Ryan. And if I just lopped one of its heads off, but it's a quick death.
Oh, it's humane.
It's the quickest.
Well,
death.
I don't want to. We got a big market tease here, but Joaquin Phoenix would be all over you. You understand?
No, I know. I thought about having no milk in my coffee this morning, but I ended up putting like a good amount of milk in it.
Straight black for me, man.
Really?
Joaquin's not on my ass. Yeah. Well, it's funny. My nephew was asking me.
Lactose.
No, not that at all. What my gateway was Dunkachinos. I never used to drink coffee. Okay. And then the Dunkachino, as you know, at Dunkin' Donuts or at Donuts, whatever you call it, donuts.
They decided to shorten it the other way.
Yeah,
I would just call it donuts, but call it whatever you want.
It's half coffee, half hot chocolate. So that's how I got into drinking coffee. It's a delight. Yeah. The problem is it's too sweet. And then eventually, when I started working, I started getting lazy, and now I just drink my coffee black. It was out of necessity, but now I don't care for any sugar in my coffee. Yeah,
I don't mind it black, but I like it just a dash, just enough to change the color. Thank you very much.
Clam?
Just enough. No, milk usually. You get the whole milk.
No sugar?
No, none.
No. Okay, good. All right, good. We can be friends still.
Come on. Ryan, what do you say we get to the news?
Just do it.
All right, Ryan, big night at the Davey house. It was the second annual Oscars watch party on twitch.tv/rvond, where the Davies were commenting the Oscars. How'd that go?
Super boring. Did you see what happened?
Well, I wasn't watching live. I watched a good chunk of it, but then you guys lost connection.
So we were talking shit about how boring it was, and then all of a sudden we got booted.
Yep, you know what that means.
I'm telling you, people are watching. But the people were good enough to see my wife eat a stink bug.
She ate a stink bug
by accident. It was actually I'm surprised no one clipped it. It was stream magic. She went and got us little Kirkland hummuses. We had the pretzel chips.
You guys had quite a bit of a stink bug problem on your hands.
It's a regional thing. I'm not kidding. It's a thing.
What do you do with them? Do you kill them or do you
you suck them up with a vacuum?
That's
what it's how to do. So we have these things. It's stink bugs and it's Japanese beetles. They look like ladybugs, but they're more orange.
Oh, okay.
And they're everywhere around here.
Oh boy.
So and bears. We got a lot of bears. Yeah. So it went into her hummus and it was dark in here, and she scooped it and put it in her mouth. On stream. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, so we were talking about how boring it was, and then we got booted, and I couldn't get back, like off ABC.com.
Wow.
It was crazy. So I mean, the stream was fun. We had fun. We had fun.
You had a good time. You guys dressed up to the nines. You look good.
Yep. And it was fun. We got to get her more involved in the streaming. You know, but
for sure.
People like her more than they like me. That's just one of those things, you know.
I mean, I think you're probably used to that, though.
I'm super used to it
by now.
Yeah.
Ryan, Parasite was the big winner.
Huge winner.
Parasite upset 1917, at least according to all the Vegas odds and everything. And Parasite's director took home Best Director.
He did.
Sam Mendes.
He did.
All the acting awards went to who you thought they'd go to. But
exactly who you thought. Yeah.
Saturday, I saw two movies. I saw Topic du Jour, and I also saw Parasite.
And what'd you think?
Fucking loved it.
All right, I got to see Parasite. I haven't seen it yet, so I have to dig it in.
I watched it by myself. You'll never believe this. My wife went out with one of her friends. Guess what movie they saw in the theater?
Little Women.
Bad Boys.
Come on.
So my wife's seen Bad Boys and I haven't.
That's bullshit.
I know. Well, I had a choice, and I obviously saw what the Topic du jour. And so anyway, so I watched Parasite, and I purposely didn't know a whole lot about it.
I know nothing about it.
Good. I think going that way, because then my wife even said, she's like, can you describe it to me in one sentence? And I was like, first of all, no. Second of all, I don't think you want me to.
It's something with a house. That's all I know.
Good. There's a house and there's people. So that's all
I know.
I'll stop right there.
Yep.
And obviously it's subtitles, and I know some people are annoyed by that, but like,
fuck off.
Whatever.
Be an adult.
You'll figure it out.
When you say some people, we could say his name. Mac's annoyed by it because Mac doesn't read. It's fine.
No. Mac liked it, I think. No, Jermaine Wiggins does not want to watch it because it's
by the way,
I told him to go watch it.
Friend of the podcast, Jermaine Wiggins, when he said Circus Olay instead of Cirque du Soleil, I was crying laughing.
Incredible.
Crying. I thought that was the funniest thing. And no one said anything. Did you say anything?
Well, so what we did was our producer has been clipping all the stuff that he says every week, and then every Friday we play it back. So we just waited to get a clean cut, and then we did call him out on it, and we're like
Circus Olay.
I know it's a difficult thing to say, but that ain't it.
That ain't it, man.
That ain't it.
So I feel like Wiggy and I have never met, but we would get along.
Yes,
I think
100%. He's a good dude. Anything? The Oscars? Yeah. So Joaquin Phoenix
was off the rails, and I thought he was he's people, and my wife was like, why are they letting him go on so long? I'm like, I think they planned for this. But also, and then Renee Zellweger gets up there and she went completely bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, and last but not least, what the hell is Eminem doing there?
No clue. I had no clue.
Why?
It was funny because they did this whole montage of like songs in movies,
which was cool.
It was, and like they're like, all right, this is fine, and they're going through it, and like you get like that,
which is weird,
like,
yeah.
All the ones, and they're all like 5-second clips or less, and then all of a sudden they get to Lose Yourself, 8 Mile, and you're like, okay, it's like 10 seconds of it. Oh, 15 seconds of this. Oh, okay, and then he just walks out and performs Lose Yourself, which was
and people are like, what the hell is happening right now?
The Oscar-winning song from like 15 years ago, or earlier. And you're like, okay. And then he was done.
And no one talked about it.
Nope. Well, because there was no host. There was nobody there to talk about it.
There needs to be, I was saying on the stream, there needs to be a host for this just to move it along.
Yeah.
Just to mention what just happened and be like, here's the next thing. Just to kind of.
It's kind of like
awkward. It felt like it was super awkward.
Yeah. But I actually thought Joaquin Phoenix, and you can go check out his speech. It's all over the Twitter if you missed it. He had like 2 really like important things masked around just nonsense, and so all anybody's takeaway is nonsense.
The milk
about how like
the milk thing.
Don't put milk in your cereal, dude.
Yeah,
like what are we putting in our cereal?
Like
not milk. And anyway, but he's talking about like, hey, maybe we shouldn't all like cancel each other and like give people a second chance or whatever. Like,
which was great. I thought that was. And he even said, like, I'm an ass. Like, I was an asshole.
So I'm like, oh, that's good. And then he quoted his dead brother, River.
Which was great.
That was cool. It was a nice little nod. But all everybody's taking away is, like, the nonsense stuff. And you're like, dude, you got to be able to,
you got to fine-tune that a little bit.
Right.
Know? Yeah.
It's like Ricky Gervais said. You know, he's like, listen, we don't need you people up here, you very much 1%ers lecturing everybody else. All the ham and eggers and the Joe Six-Packs out there. And the Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts out there, yeah.
Yes, you don't need to do it. Anyway, so
Joe Bags doesn't need to hear that.
He's not listening. He's not listening to that. So that was the Adam Sandler won an Independent Spirit Award.
Yeah, he did.
We tweeted out some of his acceptance speech, which was
all you needed, just calling people douchebags.
All the Oscar guys are fucking
never winning an Oscar now.
No.
I think he knows, like, I'm never gonna win a fucking Oscar. They're never gonna give me an Oscar.
I think like he probably either could have or should have this year. I know you haven't seen Uncut Gems yet.
I haven't seen it. No, fuck, man. You know, I'm just like, I'm in a movie lull right now.
It's all right. You saw one recently.
I saw one today.
Ryan, did you see the trailer for Spiral?
Sure did.
Which is the new Saw movie.
It's a spin-off, right?
Yeah, it's like
a copycat kind of.
Well, it says Spiral, and then it's
turn
like,
this off for a second. Don't mind me. Keep
from
talking.
the book of Saw is what it says.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, what does this mean? And just from the trailer alone, Chris Rock is a cop. Samuel L. Jackson's in it. He references how they're targeting cops, but you don't really know. I wonder if how connected it's going to be. Like,
it has to be like
a
student of Jigsaw. Like, it happens after all of that stuff happens.
Well, I also wonder the way Saw is, and by the way, the guy who directed Saw 2, 3, and 4 is directing this. But Chris Rock came up with the story. He's producing it, and he's obviously starring in it.
Right.
I wonder if they go, and I apologize in advance, it's a bit of a spoiler, but I wonder if they go Final Destination style, and they released like a Final Destination like years after like the original trilogy, and it was like sneaky a prequel.
Yeah.
And like you didn't know it was a prequel until like the end.
Well, what was that other fucking not Sinister? The one I always confuse Sinister
with.
Insidious, where they
did the same thing.
2 is like 1 is 1, 2 is a prequel.
Their times all over. Yeah. So it could be something like that because there's always like a cool reveal in these Saw movies, but I'll see it. I mean, it's coming out in May. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian is announced that season 2 will come out in October.
Great.
So that's good.
Can't wait. I'm looking forward to that.
Did you ever watch Ray Donovan?
I watched the first 2 seasons.
Okay, me too. It's been canceled after the 7th season.
Which I take comfort in the fact of knowing that, like, if I ever wanted to get back into Ray Donovan, I only have to watch 5 more seasons. But I really did like it, and that was like
pretty good. I just like you know, classic. You can't watch everything.
Yeah, for a while that was like my dream job to be Ray Donovan. Like, that'd be a cool job. That'd
be a cool job, and it was good. But it's also like, how many shows make it to 7 seasons?
Not a lot.
But then how many of those aren't allowed to end the way they want to.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
It's not like
right?
the show's over. Like they canceled it.
They canceled it, and like even the crew, like the cast and crew, were like, "What the fuck?" Like,
right?
They just out of the blue canceled it.
Like I haven't seen it, but I saw some people when we tweeted about it, and they tweeted us, and they're like, "Yeah, it ended like on a cliffhanger."
Yeah, and they didn't even give him like a last. They did the good thing to be like, this is the last season,
right?
Like they're doing with Saul. Like
that's you owe it. Oh, Saul's doing
6, so they're doing one more after this one.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Maybe like if there's enough of a push for it, maybe they'll get a movie. I don't know if it's that popular, but like, hey, at least give us 2 hours to tie this thing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know. All right, Ryan, that's the news I got. Let's get to your news, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, what do you got?
So get this. So all Nintendo Switch production, most notably the Outer Worlds, which was an indie game, which came to consoles, which then is being ported over to, all delayed because of the coronavirus. The coronavirus is now affecting the gaming industry.
Really?
Including all of Nintendo's production, because I think Nintendo does production in China. So all of that is being delayed because of this coronavirus, if you can believe that.
That's scary.
That's scary.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's going to hold up some games and stuff. The Overwatch League is back. Our Boston Uprising just had their home opener this past weekend at Patriot Place. So this is something, if they're going to start doing stuff at Patriot Place, like we kind of got to get there.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
You know what I mean? Like if they start doing like home matches, absolutely, or just like interview the team, or just like be there. Like shit. I mean, you're the voice of the Patriots Rock Radio, or whatever the fuck they call it. Whatever they call it.
I don't work there anymore. I don't work there anymore.
You don't do the Patriots game? No, you don't. No, you do the pregame. You're the pregame guy.
On EEI.
You're in the tent. Yeah, whatever. All right. So,
anyway.
Believe it or not, Richard, this is good. This is news that stuns nobody. There is another Call of Duty game coming this year. Can you believe it?
I think, what were they, like 8 of the top 10 selling games of the decade or something were like Call of Duties.
And so they flip every year. So Infinity Ward does one, and then like Treyarch does one. Treyarch. So they're like back and forth. So you have like the Modern Warfares, and then you have like the Black Ops.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So like this is like the next like Black Ops one is coming.
It's too much.
It's too much. But I do have some good news involving Call of Duty. So I went on a little bit of a tear, Richard. I was trying to download I was trying to download BioShock.
Oh, I did, by the way. I haven't played it yet, but I downloaded that. Oh, and thanks for pointing that out, because
that's ridiculous, by the way.
But it's also ridiculous to me, and I don't know if everybody's is set up a little bit different, but they do not do a very good job of advertising that.
Like how big? What?
No, I went to like the PSN store.
Oh yeah, you have to go to like PlayStation Plus, and then
you gotta like really search for it. At least on my end, like you would think for a game like that to be a free download, like as soon as you go to like the homepage, it'd be like, go get this game.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, at first I couldn't find it, and then I had to specifically search for it, and then it pops up, and it's like anyway. So I downloaded. I'm waiting to play.
But my point is, where the hell does Modern Warfare get off being a 150 gig game? That's insane. Insane. Like how that game is that big.
That's too much. That was like
too much.
What was Grand Theft Auto 5?
It was like 75. Red Dead 2 was like 100. This one's 150 gigs.
That's nuts.
It's stupid for a soldier game.
Come on.
But I purposely have not touched the BioShock games because I haven't played them in years, so I want to blind stream them. I want to go through them and play them all over again. So, but the good Modern Warfare news is Season 2 for their online play is starting, I believe, today. And Rust is back. The map Rust, which if you ever played a Modern Warfare game and you wanted to settle a debate with somebody, you would say things like, and again, I don't want to work blue, but 1v1 me on Rust, motherfucker.
Oh, God.
Like, you think you're better than me? Like, 1v1 me on Rust. Let's go.
All right. You're going there.
I'm not in fighting shape.
Sounds like you're going there.
Okay. But like that, I would say that to people all the time. If I'm cheating, let's do it.
Wow.
You think I'm cheating? You think I'm a bot? Let's go.
Okay.
I'm not.
You're not
I'm
a bot.
A real deal.
You're a real.
I'm not like
person?
I'm not like using aim bots. I'm not cheating. You can't cheat.
I have feeling and emotion.
Yeah.
Something that C3PO will never have.
Nah, he has a little bit of emotion.
Nope. He's stupid.
He is kind of dumb.
He's dumb and I hate him.
But that's all the news I got for you.
All right, Ryan, that's awesome.
That's a good amount of news.
That's a healthy chunk of news.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a very important question. Are you ready for the topic du jour?
Is it milk? Do I have to put milk in it?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the topic of the day. And today, it is birds of prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Or is it?
It is a 1 hour and 49-minute film.
Yep.
currently, or at least last check on Rotten Tomatoes, 80% by the critics and 83% by the audience. Did you have something you wanted to add before I get to the?
So I noticed that if you look at the description of the movie now, they changed the name of the movie. Like, I think it was whoever put the movie at DC changed the name of the movie. So it's now Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Yeah, so I guess when it first came out, it was the really long title.
Yeah.
And then it was more simply known as Birds of Prey.
Yep.
And it is now being marketed as Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
So this movie, and I'll get to our spoiler-free part in a second here, made just over $33 million at the box office, which was first, but also not what they were hoping for.
It is the lowest DC opening ever.
Is it fair to say that if they never even said Birds of Prey and simply called the movie Harley Quinn, it would have made at least 50?
Yeah.
People don't know what Birds of Prey is.
They don't. It's like people didn't know what Guardians of the Galaxy was either until people like until they're like, oh shit, this movie's awesome, and then people went and saw it. So
yeah. And I don't even think
that's a terrible example I just gave, but that's it's such a lesser known thing.
Like, they're already kind of working up against it because a lot of the DC movies, we did a whole episode on it last week. The DC EU movies have not been great. They're starting to get to the good level with like Shazam and Wonder Woman. But Birds of Prey, so you're taking a character from Suicide Squad, but you're like, oh, it's its own thing. But it's not even for like diehard comic book fans.
All of the Birds of Prey have an association with Batman, but you don't bring Batman into the movie.
Like, there's no Batwoman or Batgirl. There's no Poison Ivy. There's no like. I don't know, man. All I know is they should have just called the movie Harley Quinn.
They should just call it Harley Quinn.
That's what we should have started. But let's start as we do. Spoiler free, Ryan. Let me ask you simply, did you like it?
I kind of did.
Yeah.
How about you?
I very much liked it.
You liked it? Yeah.
I know,
and I know exactly why. I have done some really good dissections of movies on this podcast in the past.
Yes.
Not everything's been a winner, but I can boil this down for you in such a way when we get into it.
Okay.
I can boil this down for you. I know exactly why you liked it, and I'm going to tell you why you liked it.
Ooh,
big market tease.
It's like a magic trick.
It's a magic trick.
I'm excited for that. Ryan, what did you think of the story of the film?
It was okay. The story was fine. I loved the set pieces. Like, they used some really cool Gotham City sets.
Yeah, it did.
That were like, was it Amusement Mile is something I've been dying to see in this world, and we saw it, and I thought that was really cool.
It was really cool. It definitely reminded me of the Arkham video game and a few of the things that they did, right?
Yeah.
And I would say the one main takeaway from the story is like it was coherent and there didn't seem to be a lot of wasted time.
There was one little bit of wasted time.
Okay, we'll get to that.
In spoilers,
But I think at the very least, like, not that every movie needs to be super easy to follow. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that some of these, specifically DC EU movies or just bad comic book movies, you're like, well, what are they doing here? Or like, what this is on? They never even explained this. Like, this didn't do that. This was like, here's how we're starting, and then full movie with an ending, and you're like, oh, wow.
They kind of hit you over the head with some stuff. With some graphics and like explaining who people are, you know,
which I actually like that. They do that in other movies too. I have no problem with that. Like the writing on the screen to tell me like a character name, no problem with it. The action. What did you think of the action / the fighting?
It was good.
It was good. Some of it was pretty violent too.
Some was pretty violent, and there's a lot of swearing in this movie. It's not for kids.
It's a hard R.
And
there's a kid like in my row, like a pretty young kid in my row.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
I thought they nailed Harley Quinn's fighting style, that kind of like gymnastic, a lot of good hurricanranas.
Yes,
in there.
She was very good.
Yeah,
she was. As we get into characters, and obviously we'll do more in spoilers, but I thought a few really strong characters. Harley Quinn, which again they should just name the movie after her. She's great. People already like her, and she was even better in this movie because it was really her movie. Forget the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, you don't really need them.
Oh God, what do you think of the comedy?
Just enough. There was enough. It didn't take itself too seriously, which I was kind of worried that it would.
Right. A few good chuckles. Not it's not Deadpool. It's not Guardians, but you laughed. I laughed. I cried.
I liked Roman Sionis calling her a fucking moron. I thought that was really, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, people don't use that one enough. It's very simple.
No, it's very simple, but very, very effective. It gives you exactly what you need.
He's really got there. Ryan, how about this? Is this the best DCEU movie?
No. I still think Shazam's better.
So it could definitely be recency bias, but right now this is my number one.
It was fun. This is a fun movie.
It was a fun movie. It was good, and there was no parts where I was like, ugh. Like, I think this is more rewatchable than Shazam.
Yeah, because there's one thing, again, we'll talk about it in a second, but there was two scenes in particular that I need to rewatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would want to watch it again, but I enjoyed myself. Obviously a theater movie. Or no?
Yes, but if you're gonna see it in the theater, there's no need to see this in IMAX.
No.
Like none.
No.
Like I would stay away from that. But I mean, it's not gonna be crowded.
No, surprisingly, it's not.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
No, I think it's definitely good, and I think for people that are listening to a #DORK podcast, you're gonna check out all the comic book movies anyway, and this one is not one that you would want to skip. I don't think.
No, it's good.
There's a quick post credits thing which we can get to. It's very quick. I don't even know if it's necessarily worth your time.
Not worth your time.
No. Your #DORK score for Birds of Prey.
4.5.
I'm going 5.
Going 5?
I liked it more than you did. I'm going with a hard 5 for right now. Again, these things are fluid.
They're fluid. But we have the ability to retcon anything, anytime.
And it's currently the best movie of 2020.
So far, yeah.
I've only seen the one.
That's it.
I've only seen the one. Anything else non-spoilers on
No.
this? All right, let's get into spoilers. Tell me, reveal the magic trick, if you would, Ryan.
Okay,
why
here's the magic
I like
trick.
This movie so much?
You like this movie so much because essentially if you look at the movie, you look at the structure of the movie, you look at the main character, what you just watched is a female version of Deadpool 2.
Pretty close.
That's exactly what this movie is. You have a character you have a kooky character who's kind of an anti-hero who's breaking the fourth wall. There's this reluctant team up that doesn't necessarily have to happen, revolving around this kid who has something that everybody wants.
This kid much better than the kid from Deadpool 2.
Right. You have him, you have Deadpool aligning himself with people who don't necessarily want to work with him. You have the same thing in this movie. There's a lot of comic relief. Like I said, there's a lot of breaking of the fourth wall. It's very kooky. It's very colorful. It's a female version of Deadpool 2, which is a fine movie.
Yes.
It's not Deadpool.
It's not Deadpool, but it's, to me, I was worried when I saw one of the trailers. I'm like, man, they're going to try to make her be just like Deadpool. And I think they went up to, but they never crossed the line.
Nope.
Because she's not the Deadpool, look at the camera nonstop talking to you jokes.
Yeah.
She is the storyteller or the narrator.
And she did it a couple times with a little couple winks.
Yeah. But she was also in those parts, I think maybe winking to the character on the scene that she's with, whereas Deadpool's legit straight up talking to you, and he's referencing other movies and pop culture things.
Yeah, so it does it to the extreme. Like
Deadpool's not even in the movie a lot of the time,
right? Where
she's always in the movie,
right? But you get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah,
it's that formula, that people like, and they're look what Deadpool, even with the swearing and everything. Look at what Deadpool did, and we can do that too. You know?
Yeah, the swearing was good, but we've also seen movies where it's just so overdone where you're like, all right, great, you know how to swear, everybody can swear. I never thought that about it. It was kind of placed in at the right times. She's just really good as the character, and I'm glad she was able, at least in my mind, to sort of get some of the stink of Suicide Squad off of her.
There was a couple winks and nods to it where she was she pointed the picture of Boomerang. She's like, I know that guy.
Yeah. So they're doing that because they're making another one,
which
they're making the Suicide Squad,
right?
Which I'm not entirely sure why.
It's got to be a completely different. Is Will Smith in it?
No,
he's not. Right?
Will Smith's not, but Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang is, and a bunch of the other ones are coming back.
Yeah,
but she was good, and I think that it's gonna come out that this movie's pretty good. And most movies, when they come out, the box office in week 2 is much worse than week 1.
Yeah, this might pick up.
I don't know if it it probably won't
or stay
double the money, but I'm saying it'll be more than a normal week 2 because people are going to hear that it's good. And the other big part of this has always been a theme of ours on all these comic book movie episodes is how good's your villain, and this villain was awesome.
Before we get into best and worst parts, the fact that Ewan McGregor leaned into this character and went so over so flamboyant, so over the top. I loved it.
So good. And
but the worst part was they killed him and Zaz.
I don't
like you wasted two of those awesome characters. You never saw Black Mask interact with Bruce Wayne. You never saw Zaz go full crazy.
So I basically had 3 or 4 gripes. I gave it a 5, but I have 3 or 4 issues that I had with the movie. One, it's more of a marketing thing because I saw it, but the whole Birds of Prey thing we're talking about.
The title.
You should not have called it that. That was dumb. It's not like Birds of Prey has this cult following even. Like it's just dumb.
It was remember they tried to make the show in the fucking 90s and it was awful?
Yeah. I wanted more Huntress. We can get to her coming up. But we obviously are big fans of Mary Elizabeth Winstead here on the podcast. Yeah. She was good, but in a limited role. Mm-hmm. And then Black Mask was so good, and it's funny. I don't know if you remember, but you said on the last episode that we did, we were looking forward to Black Mask, and you were like, "Just don't kill him."
Yeah,
and they killed him.
And they killed him
because he would have been a great guy to have just either in another one or just sort of in the background.
Just put him in the pen. Just put him in the pen.
Yeah,
keep him there.
Or also would have been a good guy. If you wanted to, arrest him and throw him in Arkham Asylum, and Batman in the next movie can talk to him for one scene, go talk to Black Mask or something like that.
He did such a good job with that character because the guy clearly has more money than he knows what to do with, but he's fucking crazy.
He's nuts. He did a great and the costuming was spot on.
Yep.
The suits, the gloves, was great. The gloves. Then the actual mask was good.
Yep.
Now I did laugh out loud when he got blown up. That was fucking funny though. When he she pulls the pin and then all of a sudden he just blows up in 3 pieces. That was funny.
You think he's gonna hit the water and then blow up, and he didn't. Yeah,
no, but not worth it though. And I also thought Victor Zsasz wasn't that good.
I love them together.
Yeah,
when they're they almost had a relationship there.
They had something going on. I thought Zsasz could have been better, but also you didn't really have to kill him either.
No.
But this is them writing it, probably being DCEU's not.
We're never going to get a sequel for this,
so we don't need a Black Mask. We don't need. Sorry, rest of the universe here. We're killing off 2 villains, 2 major villains for Batman. Yeah. Killed them both off. So those were my issues with it. But overall, really good. And the formula is pretty simple, like you said. But there's some good stuff. So if we get into best worst, so worst, I guess those would be all my worst things. What else did you have?
My worst thing too. There's in Act 2. There's that scene where Cassandra Cain and Harley Quinn are in her apartment.
Yeah,
that dragged. That was with the whole thing with Doc and the whole thing with the cereal and the hyena. That dragged a little bit for me. And I get why they did it, but the scene. We talked about the pacing of it, and that kind of stopped it in its tracks. And the other one was. She's getting Sionis smacks her in the head, and there's this whole Madonna Marilyn Monroe thing.
Yeah,
that was weird and didn't have to be there.
Yeah, I know what you're saying,
but I get why they did it. Stylistically, I get why they did it. But
yeah,
and we didn't get enough Huntress.
No,
I thought that, and I love that she was the straight person. Everyone was kind of crazy, and they kind of make fun of her.
But they also do a good job because you think about all these.
She's the Colossus, by the way, of that movie.
Oh, you think so? Yeah. Yeah. But what's funny is most heroes have a pretty fucked up origin story.
Yep.
And we see them grown up and they don't really have that many issues. They have issues, yes, they have to be there, but socially they're so much better than they probably would be,
right?
And so her character being the way that she is, she basically got raised by another family to be an assassin, and
after seeing her family murdered in front of her.
So why would she have social skills?
Yeah, but it was funny. At the end when they're Huntress, that's a fucking great name. Yeah, that's a great name. It's is it really? Thanks.
They all support each other. Oh, the crossbow killer, the crossbow killer.
Stop calling it. They kept calling it a bow and arrow. She's not a fucking bow and arrow.
Yeah, I'm not fucking 12. I'm not Robin Hood. That was pretty funny. She was good in her.
She's great. I think they should bring her back, and you could use her in Batman.
100%, you could.
You could use Mary Elizabeth.
If they ever make Batgirl, you could put her in there.
I'm going to say this right now, and you're gonna roll your eyes at me, saying you could use Mary Elizabeth Winstead in anything. Mary Elizabeth Winstead could use me in any capacity that she wanted to.
Come on, Ryan. Don't talk about my lady like that.
I know she's you
she's
called
too tall for you.
She's way too tall for me. That's true.
She's tall.
Way too tall. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was funny. And I like that. And
I thought Black Canary was good.
Yeah, Black Canary was pretty good. Like Renee Montoya was like whatever.
I like Rosie Perez though. Rosie Perez.
I like Rosie Perez.
Not using like, she's not crazy Rosie Perez, but
no, Billy.
Not talking about the Stookies.
Billy, it's the Stookies. No, there's not Billy, it's the Stookies.
Billy, the Stookies.
Food that starts with the letter Q for 100.
What is a quince? I'll be on Jeopardy, Billy.
What is quiche?
By the way, we are referencing White Men Can't Jump.
Yes. It was a Easter gift that my mom got me when I was like 10.
Nice.
And then we had to we fast forwarded a few parts, so we had to kind of stop, and it was a whole thing.
You missed Rosie's Perez.
I saw Rosie's Perez. They didn't get there quick enough. I became a man that day.
You did. And here's a fun fact. So the young girl who plays Cassandra Cain,
yeah,
she is the niece of the man who played Rufio in Hook.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Trivia now?
I'm just saying. I saw it on IMDb. I thought that was a nice little factoid. You know who would love that? You know who would love that little tidbit?
No.
Goo.
You think Goo would?
Because that's a movie from the 90s.
That's true.
That Goo has seen.
So that party would like.
Yeah.
So I like whatever you would call it. Like when you're making a film and you're like, hey, let's put words on the screen. Like we talked about. Like, do you remember the movie Feast? Did you ever watch Feast?
I've never watched Feast.
So it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
I've referenced this like years ago in Dorktober. Mm-hmm. Feast was a movie that was like Project Greenlight. They did a reality show.
Yeah, with Matt
Ben
Damon
Affleck and Matt Damon were like producers of it.
For like Sundance Channel or something.
They found like there was a competition for writers and there was a competition for a director. And they ended up putting this thing together, like the winner from both. It ended up being this low budget horror movie called Feast. But one of the things that sucked me in right away was every time you met a new character, it would stop, it would like freeze, it would say the character's name, and it would say like their life expectancy, like in the movie. So they put like a little bit of a joke on there, but they'll put the name. Anyway, I like that stupid shit. And I also think for people who aren't comic book fans, like we sat down, we already knew who was playing Huntress, we already knew who was playing Black Mask and all that stuff, but not everybody does. And it just makes I don't know, for me, a little bit easier. And it was also, they used it as a joke too, because everybody was calling her the crossbow killer. Yeah. And then she's finally talking to the guy that lives below or works below Harley Quinn. She's like, they call me Huntress. Like, nobody calls her Huntress though.
Yeah, no one calls her Huntress.
Nobody calls her that at all.
Yeah, it was funny that because my nephew was like, I went to the bathroom during the apartment scene, as I said.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is boring. I'm going to go to the bathroom to tell me what happens. And he's like, all right, so that girl, the tall one with she's actually, I'm like, I know, it's Huntress. He's like, how'd you know that? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. I know
comic books. Yeah. They actually did Huntress and like that, the stuff with her family in Arrow.
They did?
They did. Arrow used a ton, the CW show Arrow used a ton of Batman people. They did the whole Bertinelli thing. Like, I think Oliver Queen even went out with her for a little bit, like not knowing she was Huntress. Oh yeah, they did the whole thing.
How about that?
Yes, it was pretty good. So for good stuff, besides obviously Harley Quinn and Black Mask, I loved the scene of Harley Quinn going to break out Cassandra Cain.
Yeah,
with the gun, and they're all she's shooting like
the glitter grenades and everything.
Glitter grenades, and it was just like slow mo, and that was pretty badass. That most of the action scenes were good.
They were good, and you know what else? The soundtrack was fucking good too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't like in your face like Suicide Squad.
No.
Where it was like, hey, you guys remember these songs, right? And you're
like they never stopped playing music in that movie.
Right. It's like, is this a musical? Like, no, it's just somebody left their Walkman on.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's good. What else did you like? What was other best stuff? Anything?
So the two scenes that I need to watch again are the one when she's breaking because in the evidence room, there has to be so many Easter eggs there.
I know. I was trying to look for them,
but you have to watch it. Like, that's the shit. Like, I got to see again because they do pay very good attention to that stuff, and they're usually pretty good about that stuff. So I want to see. There was also some stuff like written on walls that I couldn't really make out, and there was like posters of stuff that like all around, and I wanted to see like what those were.
Yeah,
because they had to be something. They wouldn't put them there if they weren't.
No, I'm sure there was. I didn't watch any of those like Easter egg videos or anything, but I'm sure there was, because the one they made that obvious was in the police station. They had the Captain Boomerang wanted sign.
Yeah, and she's like, I know that guy.
And I noticed it at first. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then she a second time made the comment, like you said. For some of the other like DCEU connections, obviously she is talking about the Joker a lot. There's one flashback scene. It's not Jared Leto, or actually it might be, but it was from like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the one where she falls into the vat. Like might be the back of his head.
Yeah, like I think he didn't have to film anything for this. Like they already had it, or they had like a stand-in do it. Yeah. But believe it or not, I think in this current DCEU, where we only saw Joker in Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad, this was actually the best use of Joker was in this movie. And this is what they could have done before. All they did was talk about him and build him up.
And how everyone was afraid of him.
That was the best part. That was the best way to use Joker, was rather than like shoehorning in another like 5 minutes of Jared Leto or anything, they just had all of the Black Mask goons and everybody being terrified to do anything. Harley could do whatever she wanted because they were like, oh, she's with the Joker. She's with the Joker. And she's like being like a made man. So that was great. And there's like everybody was afraid of him. Like that's what you needed. Suicide Squad screwed that up. Like Suicide Squad could have done so much less. Either go all in or all out.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but her blowing up Ace Chemicals, wouldn't that help Roman Sionis? Doesn't Sionis Chemicals the rival of Ace Chemicals?
Yeah, you think he'd be happy about that?
You think he'd be happy about that, right?
Yeah.
But I guess the thing is like, they're done. She has no.
They're done.
Anymore.
So now she's obviously you can go and kill her, and that was a cool scene. Like everybody's going after her because they're like they found
very
out
John Wick.
That was very John Wick. That's true. But I just thought that was a good example of you can build up a character without having him or her in the movie.
Yeah,
like you just talk about.
They should have been doing that all along, because then you could have just worked like. I know hindsight's 2020. But
she broke Black Mask's driver's legs in front of everybody, and nobody did a thing.
No,
because they're like, well, she's with the Joker. We don't want his. We don't want his crazy ass showing up here.
But it's just like, and he says like, "Is your paramour? Should I be expecting your paramour later?" And she's like, "No."
Yeah, and he's even like, say hi to Joker for me.
Yeah,
like so.
Even he's afraid. Even he's afraid of him.
Correct.
Yeah,
which is perfect. And and Black Mask was so goddamn good in this, and you're like, all right. And this guy's such a loose cannon. This guy's so violent, and he won't mess around with Joker. Like,
we think of cutting people's faces off. I thought that was nice.
That was really good. That was very Professor Pig style.
Yes, it was.
The old face rips. But that's the other thing is like, then in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I know that this Joker has like grills and it's like sucks. Yeah. So like it wasn't as good. And so I don't know what they're gonna do going forward, because like you can't use the same goddamn guy.
No, you can't.
They kind of screwed the pooch there. Harley obviously names her hyena Bruce after Bruce Wayne, Batman. And then there's also that scene where Harley Quinn just like rattles off all the things that she's done in her life, like including saving the world,
including Suicide Squad.
Yeah. So just kind of tossed that in there a little bit. I also read that they were originally going to have the Penguin in this movie.
I'm glad they didn't.
But then I guess like once they were the Batman was starting to get going, they were like, hey, we're going to have him, so don't waste him in this.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't know. I mean, he could have been good, but I wish they referenced him. That would have been nice.
Or like if they just like, you don't need a whole lot just to keep this ball rolling.
No, you don't. But like, she could have said something about like the Iceberg Lounge or like
when they open the cabinet and there's no guns, because Penguin's thing is he's a weapons dealer. So there's like, oh shit, he's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, that was pretty good. Yeah. Like, that whole gun thing was pretty funny. Do you, Ryan, want a Birds of Prey 2 Electric Boogaloo?
No.
Oh. You probably won't get one based on the box office.
Based on the box office, yeah.
I think what they'll do is, I think they have to realize, though, that they had a pretty good movie on their hands overall. Like, I know money is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these characters have the ability to not just be in the Suicide Squad, but if the Batman ends up being good, and say there's like a Robert Pattinson trilogy of movies, like you could easily put a couple of these. You could Huntress, like we already said, but you could put Black Canary in there. Like you could definitely use some of these characters.
You can. You certainly can. I mean, if they're rebooting Suicide Squad to another thing, like this is, the other thing is just it's so confusing what they're trying to do. Like, hopefully it makes sense to them, because it doesn't really make sense to me.
Well, the state of the DCEU right now,
it is a shattered web right now of movies. Not to reference a pretty good Spider-Man series, but
wasn't that also kind of telling, because So this movie ends. It's very standalone.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know they end it and they're like, Harley Quinn and Cassandra Cain are off on their own, and then you have the Birds of Prey doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, that's it. And then the post-credit scene is just Harley Quinn being like, hey, let me tell you about Batman. And then it cuts. So it's like it's not exactly Samuel L. Jackson recruiting Iron Man or Hulk to the Avengers.
And that's got to be intentional. It has to be intentional that they left it open. So like if we wanted to do it, we could, but we're also not tied to this.
No.
You know?
Yeah, they had to know that we don't know really what's next for this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think that Birds of Prey got $33 million because it was rated R, because Suicide Squad was bad, because nobody knew what Birds of Prey was, because it was Oscars weekend? Like, what do you think the main reason was?
I think there's a lot. I mean, first of all, they got to figure it out with these titles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're calling a movie Birds of Prey, but also Harley Quinn's in, like you titled it Birds of Prey, and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Like that's a mouthful and it's confusing. Like, I don't care about Birds of Prey. I care about Harley Quinn. You make it sound like Harley Quinn's a secondary character in the movie.
But then they also started, even before the movie came out, and we talked about this last week, they started talking about Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. You're like, Harley Quinn's next movie. And you're like, well, you mean Margot Robbie's next movie?
Yeah. But the other thing too
what's up and what's down?
I think one of the other gripes I had too is for calling it Birds of Prey. I think they're only on screen together for like a half hour, like all of them, 20 minutes maybe.
Well, and that part, actually, throw that into the issues too. At the very end, she's doing like the epilogue, and she's like, they stuck together and they call themselves the Birds of Prey, and you're like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Just now?
And first of all, I believe it was Birds of Prey. Was the original Birds of Prey Black Canary, Batgirl, and Poison Ivy, or something like that?
I have to look it up.
But there were more, I don't know, birds, or at least like bird type characters. Like, so Black Canary, got it. Huntress and Renee Montoya.
Like, that's your
scream bird,
crew?
doesn't it? I don't know.
So, but Oracle's involved, right?
Yeah. Well, she's Batgirl.
No, I thought they had.
Well, Batgirl became Oracle.
Right, but I thought they had Batgirl and Oracle. So there's been several iterations of Birds of Prey.
Yes, according to this, the current list of Birds of Prey are Batgirl, Black Canary, Huntress, and Batwoman. And the former members, there are a ton, include Oracle, Hawkgirl, let's see, Katana, Vixen, Catwoman, Poison Ivy.
Like, yeah, it's a lot.
Like, dude, I don't even think Renee Montoya was in it.
No. But whatever. I mean, I like the whole girl power thing too. I thought it wasn't too much. You know, they kind of hit on certain things like hot button topics, but not too much. If you didn't, you know, they had the whole
yes, Ryan,
being passed over for promotion several times.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Girls helping each other out. Girls in trouble. She's drunk. She's being, manhandled by a guy. Girl, steps in, helps her.
Black Canary came and whooped that ass.
Dealing with things like that. How there was talk in the beginning of the movie how, some people just aren't meant to stand on their own. Like, they need a man to kind of boost them up.
Oh,
and it turns out that's not the case. So, I mean, I liked the kind of, they were kind of hitting on
stuff in there.
They're kind of hitting on those real things, but not letting it take over the movie. So I thought that was pretty well done too.
I also liked how they used Black Canary's superpower too.
Well, yeah, I was waiting for that to happen
because they sort of tip you off a little bit when she's singing and she breaks the glass, and you're like, well, okay. And then she went full on and used it, so that was pretty cool because she's got it.
It's a nice little movie. Go and see it. Help the people out.
You know what? I really, really liked it.
I didn't really like it. I liked it enough.
It's the best movie I've ever seen this year, without a doubt. No, but like, it's not going to be
until the 5-hour Once Upon a Time in Hollywood comes out, and then that's the best movie I've ever seen.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be great. Imagine that when that one comes out. Ooh, dog.
Now with more feet, 100% more feet.
There's going to be a lot of feet, probably.
Yeah,
Probably a lot of feet. Birds of Prey, though. I'll tell you what.
Birds of Prey.
DC, they got low
Nice little movie.
expectations. It's a nice little film. Ryan, ready for the pick of the podcast?
Yeah, man.
All right, what do you got?
I got several.
Shit.
I got several. You didn't ask me the football thing. Football season's over, so you don't.
All right, Ryan, would you like to kick, receive, defer, or defend a goal? Well,
I will receive.
XFL's out.
XFL's out. Yeah, that game was actually pretty fun. Pretty fun to watch.
I watched some of the first game on Saturday. It wasn't bad.
I finished that Abandoned series on Hulu. That was actually really good. There was a really cool one about Route 66 with Rick McCrank, who's a old skateboarder. But I'm going to do a music one, Richard.
What?
You know, I'm a big fan of Billie Eilish, right?
Oh my god.
Do you know who I actually secretly like more than Billie Eilish?
Her brother.
No, well, he's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He's gonna be more famous than her, but like in a different. Oh, he's gonna wind up producing like a ton of people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like that's what he's gonna like songwriter and like all that stuff. But he's gonna make way more money than her.
Yeah.
I love Halsey. And I just
God.
finally heard Halsey's new album, Manic. I really like it. And it helps her if you there's the second single off that is called You Should Be Sad or something.
I don't like that message.
Well, it's about, you should be sad, but I want you to do something when you're done here, Richard. And what helps Halsey's case is, one, she's a great pop singer. She's a great pop artist. And this video for You Should Be Sad, she is an absolute rocket. So please go and watch that video.
Isn't she young though? How old is she?
Oh no, she's like 24, 25. I mean, she's younger than us. She's not like a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
But an absolute smoke. So
go watch
go ahead and watch that video.
On a scale of 1 to Lana Del Rey, how good is her voice?
She's off the charts.
I think I've definitely heard something from her. I'm trying to think what it was.
Oh, she's something.
Halsey.
You Should Be Sad. Watch that video.
It sounds like a bit of a downer, Ryan. I'm not going to watch it.
It's not. I want you to watch it. Okay, you'll thank me later. Trust me.
I think if the song was called "You Should Be Happy," I'd stop what I was doing and watch it.
Because if you're happy and you know it, you can just clap your hands.
And I'm gonna stomp my feet and yell hooray.
Did you like what I did when I was streaming last night? And I said the classy way to talk about cleavage now that we should start using. Yeah, talking about the neckline.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's safe. You can't get in trouble for that, right?
Look at the neckline on that dress.
Jesus Christ. You see her neckline?
Look at the neckline on that dress.
You can't go overboard like that, maybe.
You can't do it like that, but you can shoehorn it in there a little bit.
Hey, bud, you see her neckline?
Don't do that.
You can't elbow the guy next to you and do that.
No, I can't do that. No. What do you got?
Ryan, this could be next week's episode. I was going to pitch it to you if you wanted to do next week's episode, but Lock and Key is on Netflix right now.
Sure. Saw the first 2 episodes.
What do you think?
The story's great.
Did you read the book?
I read the first one.
Okay, so I've read the entire goddamn thing. This is one of the few times I'd be able to on a podcast say, well, according to the book.
I don't like the kid.
Which kid? The little kid?
Bodhi. Yeah.
You don't like Bodhi?
I don't like him.
I don't think he's bad.
I don't like him. He's annoying.
Oh, no.
So that's kind of that.
Bodhi's a pretty big
character. He's a huge character. So hopefully that turns a little bit like a key.
Oh, Ryan.
Oh boy.
One of the best. So this movie is this show is
tail that motherfucker.
10 episodes. Mm-hmm. They all seem to be about like 44 to 54 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. And I'm 4 episodes in.
Okay.
Do you think you'd be done for next Monday or do you want to postpone? Okay.
Yep, I could get that done.
All right, so that's a word to everybody that's listening. Go ahead and start watching Lock and Key
right now.
It's a great comic by Joe Hill. It's awesome, and it's done. And I was wondering how they were going to do it because it's weird. Because on the one hand, it's definitely like fantasy, kid, science fiction type of thing.
Yep.
But then on the other hand, it's kind of dark. Like some of the shit's real dark.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, it's like, what is this? Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Seriously. So it's kind of like an adult version of that.
Yeah.
Like an adult horror. It's like if Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was a horror movie.
Yes.
Like that's what it would be. That's a great way of putting it, actually.
Yeah. That's how I kind of viewed it. And like,
I would love to be a consultant. Speaking of hockey, by the way, and there's the older brother in this movie happens to play hockey.
Yes.
I would love to be a hockey consultant consultant on any and all programs and just be like, look, man,
that's important.
Nobody would tape their stick like that. Nobody would wear that equipment. Like,
the helmets are usually off. The way they wear their jerseys is never
like the
right.
way they tape their sticks is never right. Like, it just looks awful.
Listen, I've said this a million times, but that's sneaky. One of the most impressive things about the Friday Night Lights TV show, is those guys looked like they'd worn equipment before.
Right.
They looked like a football player. They spatted up their ankles.
And the kids who could play quarterback could throw.
They could actually
except for
throw.
Matt Saracen could.
Saracen, not great, but the other guys could. And then even him, I mean, hell, he got benched. He got moved to receiver, so makes sense. But Tim Riggins looked like a football player.
Yeah, a football player I would not want to play against.
No, he looked like a legit dude.
Yeah.
Never knew what year he was in, but
no, yeah. If he's a junior or sophomore, who knows?
He was a fucking sophomore the first season.
And then he was there for like 4 more years, Yeah.
His best friend in the world, his lifelong friend was a senior, which is like, yeah, I guess, but you can't talk about all the games you played together considering you're a sophomore.
Right.
I don't know, Ryan. What do I know?
Jason. I love that show. That's what I can tell you that.
I love that show so much.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and watch that. Oh, by the way, did you see? Are you? Oh, actually, I think I'm one behind on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Did you finish?
I didn't. No, not yet. No.
But Megan Ferguson was in the first 2 or 3 up. The first 3.
Sad though. Her Netflix show got canceled.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Poor kid.
Yeah, she's gonna do all right. She's in a bunch of things.
She's in a bunch of things.
She's gonna.
She looks just enough like the girl from Ozark. I guess she gets that all the time. I follow her on Instagram. She gets it all the time.
She might. Well, I watched Ozark when we first started watching Ozark. I'm
thought it was her.
Like, good for her for getting this. And I'm like, oh, that's not her. Yeah, she looks exactly like the girl from Ozark.
Like her. She does.
She does. Except that girl's getting way more roles.
Well, yeah, because she's like 10 years younger.
Fuck. What a brutal game it is.
Life's cruel, man.
Ryan, do you know you can rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes?
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
You can do all those things. It's free to you. It's free to me.
It doesn't cost you anything.
You can follow us on Twitter at Dork Podcast and Instagram at Dork Podcast.
Instagram's jumping now.
Instagram be hopping. You can watch these episodes. I usually put these episodes on YouTube a couple of days after they're on podcast form. But if you like the video form, God bless you. Go ahead and watch us here. You can email us anytime, dorkpodcast@gmail.com. And Davey's stepping his toe back into the old
We're getting back into it a little bit. I just got to find the right time. Hockey season is busy for me, so I'm trying to, ease back into it. Maybe once or twice a week, and just have a happy fun time there.
Or you could just be like, "Why you got to be sad?" You can play that for the people.
So
everybody can be sad.
There's gonna be copyright issues there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and then you'd have to put your pants back on.
Well, I'm pantsless. I know I have a shirt on, but
now that's a good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ryan. That's I think another successful episode of the podcast.
Nice and tight.
Oh, that's tight.
I forgot to. I was supposed to get a sounder for you to sign off.
Oh, I was thinking of that. I didn't come up with anything.
I got nothing.
Like a thing to say at the end.
Yeah.
What did we do for the first 200 episodes? Anything? Or did it just end?
We did. I'm a fiend for mojitos for a little while.
Oh, that was good. I am a fiend for mojitos.
I do like a good mojito, but I'm not a fiend. I don't really drink.
Fiend.
Yeah.
What were you having last night? A little Prosecco?
I had 1 glass of Prosecco, and then I had 4 ginger ales.
That's not what I heard from Lady Von D.
Oh, she was bitching. I had 1 glass of Prosecco.
She claimed that you drank all her Prosecco.
I didn't. She drank the whole bottle.
I would have bought a second bottle, Ryan.
She did. Yeah, but because I only had one. Because I had 1 glass, and I screwed her out of her glass.
How many gingies did you have?
4.
God, that's not good for the sugar intake, Ryan.
It's a lot of sugar. Yeah.
Is there sugar-free ginger ale, and how bad is that? Oh, that's gonna be piss.
Yeah. Diet has all that aspartame in it, so I get diabetes or I get cancer. Which one, one of them's going to kill me.
I don't want to end it like this. This is not a good way of ending it at all.
Go watch the Halsey video.
Check out the Halsey video. Check out Lock and Key. Throw us a review. Throw us a whatever you can do.
Say hi on Twitter.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Say hi to your mother for me.
All right. There we go.
That's it. Say hi to your mother for me.
All right.